Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another Life History channel. I hope you're ready to sleep. Let your shoulders drop and relax now. Tonight, we will witness firsthand exactly how the samurai from the movies were trained. But this time, instead of watching it on a screen, we will undergo the training ourselves. Before we begin, maybe hit subscribe and tell me where you are right now and what time it is. I love reading comments. Tokyo at 3 a.m, Chicago at midnight, London during a morning journey to work. It's fascinating how we're all present at once. You open your eyes in the darkness. The air is cold and perfectly still. You lie on a thin mat of woven straw. Beneath you the floor is hard polished wood. Your body aches from the long journey yesterday. The scent of old straw fills your nose. Somewhere outside a bird calls in the silence. Dawn has not yet broken over the valley. You shift your weight carefully to one side. The mat beneath you whispers with the movement. Your fingers brush against rough hemp fabric draped over you. This is your blanket now, thin and worn through. The cold seeps through the fabric like water. You can feel your own breath condensing visibly. It hangs in the air as small clouds. Each cloud fades slowly into the surrounding darkness. The room around you holds 7 other bodies. They sleep in perfect rows, perfectly still and silent. You cannot see their faces as this light, but you hear their breathing, slow and controlled. Even in sleep they maintain complete iron discipline. You're the only one awake right now. The only one struggling quietly with the cold, the only one who does not belong here yet. A thin line of grey light appears suddenly. It creeps beneath the door at the far end. The paper screens begin to glow very faintly. Dawn is coming to the mountain monastery at last. Your first full day of training slowly approaches. You think of your family's face so very distant. You think of the warm home you left behind. You think of the life you chose to abandon. The bird outside calls again, then another bird answers. The darkness in the room begins to soften gradually. You can see shapes now, vague, shadowy outlines. The other students remain motionless in their perfect sleep. Their discipline was earned through years of hard training. You've been here only one single cold night. Already your body protests the harsh living conditions here. Already your mind questions the wisdom of this choice. But you made a solemn vow to yourself firmly. You would learn the ancient way of the warrior. You would master the sacred path of the sword. You would become something far more than you were. So you lie still and wait patiently for dawn. You let the cold sink deeper into your body. You accept the discomfort without complaint or any resistance. This is the first lesson, though nobody taught it. The grey light grows stronger beneath the old door. You can see the wooden beams above you clearly now. They're dark with age and long smoke exposure. Centuries of breath have darkened this low ceiling. How many students have lain where you lie tonight? How many have stared at these exact same beams? How many failed and returned to their quiet villages? How many succeeded and became legends in distant time? A sound breaks the silence of the cold morning. It is a single strike of a wooden drum. Deep and resonant it rolls through the old building. The other students rise as one coordinated fluid motion. They move without hesitation, without confusion or any delay. Their bodies know this routine like breath itself does. You scramble to follow them, awkward and terribly slow. Your blanket tangles around your feet as you stand. The student nearest you is already folding his mat. His movements are precise and economical. Nothing wasted at all. Each fold is exactly the same careful measured width. He places the folded mat against the wall carefully. Then he turns and walks toward the paper door. His feet make no sound on the wooden floor. You try to copy his folding technique as exactly. Your mat resists your clumsy fingers and awkward fumbling. By the time you finish, you're completely alone. The other students have already left the sleeping room. Panic touches your chest for just one brief moment, but you push it down and breathe very deeply. You walk to the door and slide it open. The paper screen whispers softly against its wooden track. Cool morning air rushes in to greet your face. Outside, the world is bathed in soft blue light. The sun has not yet cleared the distant mountains. Everything exists in that space between night and day. The courtyard before you is made of packed earth. It has been swept clean of every single leaf. Every stone has been placed with deliberate, careful intention. The pattern they form speaks of ancient, timeless order. The other students stand in perfect rows before you. They face toward the east, toward the coming sun. Their backs are straight and their heads are level. They wear simple training clothes of dark, heavy cotton. The fabric is worn but clean and very carefully maintained. You can see your own breath in the air. You can see theirs as well. 8 separate clouds forming. You hurry to take your place in the line. The spot at the end seems to be yours. You try to stand as they stand so perfectly. But your shoulders hunch slightly against the piercing cold. Your weight shifts from foot to foot quite unconsciously. The student beside you stands like a carved statue. His breathing is so quiet you cannot hear it. His focus is absolute and unwavering in its intensity. An old man appears at the front of courtyard. He moves with surprising grace for his advanced age. His hair is white and pulled back very tightly. His face is weathered like ancient cracked tree bark. He wears robes of dark grey, formal and proper. This is the master of this remote training hall. This is the man who will shape you completely. This is the one you must learn everything from. He does not speak or acknowledge the waiting students. Instead, he simply begins to move his aged body. His movements are slow and deliberate and gently flowing. He shifts his weight from one foot gradually forward. His arms rise like branches in gentle mountain wind. His hands form shapes that mean something deeply sacred. You recognize this as a meditation form being practiced. The other students begin to mirror his exact movements. They follow him with perfect synchronized timing throughout each motion. Their bodies move as extensions of his own body. You try to copy what you see happening there, but your movements are jerky and uncertain and clearly wrong. Your balance wavers when you shift your own weight. Your arms feel heavy and awkward in the air. Sweat begins to form despite the morning's bitter cold. The master flows through position after position quite smoothly. Each movement connects seamlessly to the very next one. His breathing guides the rhythm of the ancient form. Inhale as the arms rise up toward the sky. Exhale as the body sinks down toward the earth. The pattern repeats and builds and deepens very gradually. Your legs begin to shake from the sustained effort. Your thighs burn as you hold each low stance. Time seems to stretch and distort strangely around you. How long have you been moving like this now? Minutes feel like hours in your aching, tired muscles, but the master shows no sign of ever stopping. The other students show no sign of any fatigue. Only you struggle and sweat and tremble badly here. Only you feel the weakness in your soft body. Only you wonder if you can continue much longer. The sun finally breaks over the mountain's rocky ridge. Golden light spills across the courtyard suddenly and warmly. It touches the master's face with gentle, soft illumination. His eyes are closed in deep meditation state completely. His expression is peaceful beyond all human earthly concern. He exists somewhere between earth and heaven right now. The students around you seem to feel it deeply. Their movements become even more focused and quite intentional. You close your eyes and try hard to find focus, but your mind races with anxious, scattered, worried thoughts. Your body screams for rest and water and warm food. How much longer can this possibly continue forward now? When will someone say that it is finally enough? When will you be allowed to stop this movement? When will you be able to rest your body again? But no answer comes to your silent, desperate questions. The master continues to move without ceasing or ever pausing. The students continue to follow him without complaint or protest. And so you continue as well, because stopping surely means failure. You continue because you came here for a reason. You continue because somewhere deep inside your hidden core, there is a strength you have not yet discovered. There is a warrior waiting to be fully awakened. There is something more than what you currently are. The sun climbs higher into the pale morning sky. The golden light turns white and harsh directly overhead. Heat begins to replace the early morning's bitter cold. Sweat runs down your back in steady small streams. It stings your eyes and blurs your vision badly. Your training clothes cling to your damp skin tightly. But still the form continues without any visible end. You notice small details as time passes so slowly. The way dust motes dance in the bright sunlight. The way shadows shift across the packed hard earth. The way one student's breath remains perfectly even throughout. The way another student's jaw is set completely firm. The way the master's fingers curve just precisely so. These tiny observations become your anchor to remaining sanity. Your mind begins to quiet despite the physical strain. The constant repetition creates a strange rhythm deep inside. Your body starts to anticipate the very next movement. Your muscles remember the pattern being taught carefully here. Something shifts inside your consciousness subtly and quite deeply. You're no longer thinking about the movements. You're no longer trying to copy them perfectly. You're simply moving, breathing, existing in this moment. The master's hands come together before his old chest. He bows slowly and deeply from the waist down. The students mirror his bow with perfect, exact synchronization. Then he straightens and opens his eyes quite calmly. For the first time he looks at his students. His gaze passes over each one in careful turn. When his eyes meet yours, they are completely bottomless. They see everything you are and could possibly become. He turns and walks toward a nearby wooden building. The students follow him in a single ordered line. You fall in at the back, legs trembling badly. Your whole body shakes with exhaustion and complete exertion. But you force yourself to walk with quiet dignity. You force yourself to maintain your composure here now. You will not show weakness on this first day. You will not give them reason to doubt you. The building you enter is long and quite low. The roof is thatched with dried mountain grass carefully. Inside, the air smells of wood smoke and rice. Long tables run the length of the simple room. They are simple wood, worn smooth by long use. Cushions are placed at regular intervals for careful seating. Everything is clean and spare and without any decoration. The students move to their places at the table. They kneel on the cushions with perfect upright posture. Their hands rest on their thighs, palms facing down. They wait in silence for the meal to begin. You copy their position as best you possibly can. Your knees protest against the hard cushion placed beneath. Your back already aches from the morning's training session. but you hold yourself still and quiet regardless anyway. An elderly woman appears from the back storage room. She carries a large wooden tray with both hands. Steam rises from bowls of rice and warm soup. The smell makes your stomach clench with sudden sharp hunger. You realize you have not eaten since yesterday afternoon. Your last meal was in the village far below, before you began the long climb up the mountain, before you entered this world of discipline and hardship. The woman places a bowl before the master first. Then she moves down the line of students methodically. Each receives a bowl of rice, simple and white. Each receives a bowl of miso soup with tofu. Each receives a small plate of pickled sour vegetables. The portions are modest but adequate for basic sustenance. When she reaches you, she pauses for a moment. Her eyes are kind but measuring in their gaze. She places your meal before you with gentle care. Then she returns to the back room very quietly. You stare at the food, desperately wanting to eat. But no one else has moved or lifted chopsticks. They all sit perfectly still and wait very patiently. The master closes his eyes and bows his head. His lips move in silent prayer or ancient blessing. The students mirror him exactly as they always do. You follow their lead and bow your own head. You close your eyes and try to feel grateful. Grateful for this food, simple as it truly is. Grateful for this opportunity to learn and truly grow. Grateful for the roof over your head this night. Grateful for the chance to become something far more. When you open your eyes, the master is watching. He gives the smallest nod, barely a visible movement. Then he lifts his chopsticks and begins to eat. The students do the same in perfect, exact unison. They eat slowly and deliberately, and with full mindfulness. Each grain of rice is appreciated and carefully savoured. Each sip of soup is taken with full attention. There is no conversation, no sound except quiet eating. The silence feels sacred in its own particular way. It feels like another form of meditation being practiced. You lift your own chopsticks with shaking, tired hands. The rice is warm and slightly sticky, cooked perfectly. It tastes better than any meal you can remember. The soup is salty and warming to your core. The pickled vegetables are sharp and bright and alive. You want to devour everything in desperate gulps, but you force yourself to eat like they eat. Slowly, mindfully, with proper gratitude and respect clearly shown. The meal seems to last both forever and instantly. When your bowl is empty, you feel quite satisfied. Not full, but adequately nourished for the long day. The master finishes his meal and sets down chopsticks. The students do the same at the exact moment. They sit with hands on thighs once again more. They wait for the next instruction or dismissal patiently. Their patience seems infinite and unshakable in its nature. The master stands and bows to the empty room. The students stand and bow in perfect coordinated response. Then he turns and walks back toward the door. You follow the line of students out into sunlight. The courtyard seems brighter now, almost blindingly bright and harsh. The morning meditation feels like days ago now already. Your body has stiffened during the brief short meal. Every muscle protests as you move across packed earth. The master leads you to a different training area. Behind the main buildings there is a practice ground. The earth here has been packed even harder still. It has been soaked with sweat and blood. It has witnessed countless hours of training and pain. Wooden posts stand at intervals around the outer perimeter. They are scarred and splintered from repeated hard strikes. Some are wrapped with rope, others with dry straw. Along one wall there's a rack of weapons. Wooden practice swords rest in neat, organised, careful rows. They are called bokken, you remember from old stories. They're heavier than real swords, deliberately and purposefully so. They build strength and proper form before steel comes. The master approaches the rack and selects one bokken. He holds it before him with both his hands. His stance shifts subtly into something dangerous and ready. The students form a semicircle around him quite naturally. They stand at attention, watching his every single movement. You take your place at the edge, watching carefully. The master raises the bokken above his grey head. His whole body becomes a single line of intent. Then he strikes downward with explosive, controlled, powerful force. The bokken cuts through air with a sharp sound. It stops precisely at an invisible target fixed point. He returns to the starting position without any hesitation. Then he strikes again. The same movement done exactly. Again and again he demonstrates the basic strike pattern. Each repetition is identical to the one just before it. Each time the bokken stops at the exact spot. This is perfection earned through endless repetition over years clearly. This is mastery that comes from decades of practice. This is what you must somehow learn to achieve. After 20 strikes, the master lowers his worn weapon. He gestures to the rack with a simple motion. The students move forward and select their own bokken. They spread out across the practice ground quite evenly. Each takes a position facing their own invisible opponent. You approach the rack with uncertain, hesitant steps forward. The bokken are heavier than you expected them to be. The wood is dense and hard, worn smooth by hands. You select one that feels manageable in your grip. Then you move to an open space at the edge. The other students are already in their starting stance. You try to copy their posture from memory alone. Feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent and ready now. Bokken held above your head with both your hands, arms extended but not locked or too rigid ever. Back straight, shoulders down, eyes focused on nothing particular ahead. The master walks among the students slowly and carefully now. He adjusts a foot here, a hand positioned there. He speaks no words but guides with gentle pressure. His corrections are minimal but completely transformative in their effect. When he reaches you, he pauses for a moment. His hands move to adjust your grip quite completely. Your fingers were too tight, strangling the hard wood. He loosens them and positions them properly along the handle. Then he adjusts your stance, widening your feet slightly. He presses on your lower back, straightening your spine. His touch is firm but not unkind or harsh. When he steps back, you feel different somehow inside. You feel more stable, more grounded in your body. You feel connected to the earth beneath your feet. The bokken feels less like a burden right now. It feels more like an extension of yourself somehow. The master returns to the front of the group. He takes his stance once more with absolute precision. Then he strikes, and all students strike together now. The sound is like thunder rolling across the ground. 8 bokken cutting through air as one single weapon. The coordination is perfect. The timing is flawless throughout. You strike a moment late, your rhythm clearly off. Your bokken whistles through air half a beat behind. Again the master strikes. Again students follow him perfectly. Again you are late, your body unsynchronized with theirs. Frustration builds in your chest like pressure slowly accumulating. Why can you not simply match their timing now? Why do your muscles refuse to respond correctly here? Why are you so clumsy and slow and wrong? But you push the frustration down and breathe deep. You focus on the master's movement and nothing else. You watch the subtle shift of his weight beforehand. You watch the way his body coils before release. You watch the precise moment he begins to strike. and on the next repetition you anticipate much better. You begin your strike at the same exact moment. Your bokken cuts through air with the others nearly. It is not perfect, but it is closer now. And the repetition after that is closer still again. And the one after that is nearly in time. Strike after strike, the pattern burns into your body. Your muscles begin to remember the movement path clearly. Your mind begins to quiet and trust your body. You stop thinking and start simply being and doing. The bokken becomes lighter in your aching hands gradually. The sun climbs higher and higher in the sky. Sweat pours from your body in steady flowing rivers. Your shoulders burn with fatigue and overuse and strain. Your hands begin to blister where they grip wood. But still the practice continues without pause or mercy. Strike after strike after strike after endless strike falling. The world narrows to this single repeated movement only. Nothing exists except the bokken and the invisible target. Your mind enters a strange state between waking and sleeping. You are aware but not thinking at all anymore. You're present but not conscious in normal way. The strikes continue, but you're not making them. Your body moves on its own, following ancient pathways. This is what the Master's eyes looked like earlier. This is the place between earth and heaven above. This is where the warrior lives in every moment. But then your body betrays you with sudden weakness. Your grip fails and the bokken slips from hands. It clatters to the ground, breaking the perfect silence. All the students stop immediately and turn toward you. Their faces show no emotion, no judgment, no reaction. They simply look at you with blank neutral gazes. You feel shame burn hotter than the sun above. You feel exposed and inadequate and completely lost here. The Master walks toward you with measured, steady steps. He stops before you and looks down at fallen bokken. Then he looks up and meets your eyes directly. His expression is still unreadable, still completely neutral, showing nothing. For a long moment he simply holds your gaze. You want to look away but force yourself steady. You will not show weakness beyond what already happened. You will not run from his judgment or disappointment. Then the Master does something completely unexpected happening now. He smiles, just slightly at the corners of mouth. It is a tiny expression, barely visible at all, but it transforms his entire weathered ancient face somehow. He nods once, a gesture of acknowledgement or approval. Then he bends and picks up your fallen bokken. He places it back in your trembling hands carefully. His fingers close yours around the wood once more. He returns to his position at the front again. The students turn away and resume their starting stance, and the practice continues as if nothing happened. Strike after strike after strike through the hot afternoon. Your hands scream with pain from broken forming blisters. Your shoulders feel like they might tear from body. Your legs shake so badly you can barely stand. But you do not drop the bokken again today. Finally, as the sun begins to descend toward horizon, the Master lowers his bokken and bows to air. The students mirror him and bow as one. Then they turn and walk toward the weapon rack. They place their bokken back with careful, reverent handling. You follow and place yours among the others gratefully. Your hands are bloody where blisters have burst open. Your whole body trembles with complete exhaustion and depletion. The Master gestures toward a small wooden building nearby. The students walk toward it in their usual line. You follow on legs that barely support your weight. Inside there is a large bath of steaming water. The steam rises in thick clouds toward the ceiling. The smell of mineral water fills the humid air. This is a hot spring fed from deep underground. The water is heated by the mountain's ancient heart. The students remove their training clothes without hesitation or shame. They fold them neatly and place them on shelves. Then they step into the water with quiet sighs. The bath is large enough for all of them. They sit on submerged benches around the edges carefully. Their bodies relax for the first time all day. Their faces show hints of relief and comfort finally. Even their iron discipline cannot hide this simple pleasure. You hesitate at the edge, suddenly self-conscious and aware. Your body is soft compared to theirs, untrained clearly. You have no scars, no calluses, no warrior marks, but there is no alternative except to join them. So you remove your clothes with clumsy, hurried movements. You fold them as best you can manage properly. Then you step into the hot water carefully. The heat is shocking at first against cold skin. It feels almost painful as circulation rushes back violently. But then your muscles begin to relax and release. The tension drains from your shoulders and back slowly. The ache in your legs begins to fade gradually. You sink deeper into the water with grateful sighs. Your eyes close as warmth surrounds you completely and totally. This is the first comfort you have felt today. The first moment of peace in this harsh place. The water loosens the tension in your neck completely. It soothes the burning pain in your raw hands. You float in the warmth, suspended between sleep and waking. The other students are equally quiet in their relief. Only the sound of water dripping breaks the silence. Only the sound of breathing, slow and rhythmic and peaceful. Time passes in the bath, unmarked and unmeasured carefully. You drift in a state of perfect stillness. The pain in your body becomes distant and manageable. The exhaustion transforms into a heavy, pleasant weight inside. You could stay here forever, suspended in this warmth. But eventually the master rises from the water slowly. He steps out and dries himself with rough cloth. The students follow his lead without being told explicitly. They emerge from the water, bodies steaming in air. They dry themselves with the same rough, practical cloth. You force yourself to leave the comforting, warm water. The air feels cold against your damp skin now. You dry yourself quickly with the provided rough cloth. Your skin tingles from the friction and the temperature change. The students dress in clean, simple evening clothes quietly. The fabric is soft cotton, darker than training clothes. You find a set in your size on shelf. You dress slowly, your body stiff and sore. The clean clothes feel good against your clean skin. The master leads you back to the main building. The sun has set completely behind the distant mountains. The sky's painted in shades of deep purple. Stars begin to appear in the darkening eastern sky. The evening air is cool and crisp and clean. You can smell wood smoke from cooking fires. You can hear the distant sound of water flowing. The courtyard is peaceful in the growing deep darkness. Inside the dining hall, candles have been carefully lit. They cast warm, flickering light across the old walls. The long tables are set with simple wooden bowls. Steam rises from pots of rice and hot soup. The students take their places as they did before. You kneel at your spot at the very end. Your knees protest, but you ignore the sharp pain. The elderly woman serves the evening meal with care. Rice and miso soup and pickled vegetables once again. The portions are the same as the morning meal. Simple, adequate, without excess or any special variety. The master blesses the food in his silent way. Then everyone eats in the same mindful practice silence. You savour each bite, grateful for the simple nourishment. The rice tastes even better after the day's work. The soup warms you from the inside out completely. After the meal, the master stands and leads everyone, not back outside, but to a different, smaller room. This room has no furniture at all inside, only bare wooden floor and paper screen walls carefully. Cushions are arranged in a circle on the floor. The master sits on one and the students follow. You take the last cushion available to you. The room is lit by a single candle only. The flame dances and flickers in invisible air currents. The master sits perfectly still with eyes half closed. The students mirror his posture, and he completes stillness. You try to sit as they sit so perfectly, but your back aches and your legs complain loudly. You shift your weight, trying to find some comfort. The student beside you is like carved stone itself. His breathing is barely visible in the candlelight glow. The master begins to speak in a low voice. His words are in the old formal language carefully. You understand some of it from your studies. He speaks of discipline or dedication and sacrifice freely. He speaks of the warrior's path and its challenges. He speaks of honor and duty and ancient responsibility. His voice is like water flowing over smooth stones. It fills the room with calm, steady presence. You listen without fully understanding all the words spoken, but you understand the feeling behind the words. You understand the weight of what you undertake. You understand the years of work ahead of you. The master's voice continues, steady and low and rhythmic. Your eyelids grow heavy as you listen in silence. Your body sways slightly with growing exhaustion and fatigue. You force yourself to sit upright and remain alert. But the day has taken everything from your body. The warmth of the bath still lingers inside you. The food sits heavy and comfortable in your stomach. The master's voice becomes like a distant, gentle river. Your eyes close for just a brief moment, then open again with great effort and determination, then close again, heavier this time and harder to open. You fight against sleep with all your remaining strength, but your body has reached its absolute limit now. The last thing you hear is the master's voice. The last thing you feel is yourself swaying forward. Then darkness takes you completely and without any resistance. You wake in the sleeping room once again. You're lying on your mat, blanket over you. You have no memory of how you arrived here. The other students sleep in their perfect ordered rows. The room is dark and cold and perfectly silent. Your body aches worse than it did this morning. Every muscle screams in protest at the slightest movement. Your hands throb where blisters have formed and broken. But you are here and you survived the day. You completed every task that was demanded of you. You did not quit or run away to safety. You proved something to yourself, if to nobody else. Tomorrow will bring more of the same harsh training. More pain and exhaustion and struggle and doubt, surely. More moments of failure and shame and burning frustration. But also more moments of small, unexpected victory, perhaps. More moments of understanding and connection and growing strength. More steps along the path you have chosen freely. You close your eyes and let sleep take you. Tomorrow you will rise with the drum's sound. Tomorrow you will face the cold morning air. Tomorrow you will learn more of the warrior's path. But tonight you rest, knowing you have truly begun. Knowing that you have taken the first painful steps. Knowing that you are becoming something more than before. The darkness is complete and comforting around you now. Your breathing slows and deepens into peaceful sleep rhythm. The cold fades as your body generates its warmth. You drift into dreams of movement and wooden swords, of striking again and again with perfect form someday, of standing among the others as an equal, of finding the warrior that waits inside your core. The night passes slowly over the mountain monastery compound. The stars wheel overhead in their ancient eternal patterns. The wind moves through the valley carrying mountain scents. And you sleep, exhausted and aching, but at peace. The first day of training is finally complete now. Many more days stretch ahead into the uncertain future. Each will bring its own challenges and harsh lessons. Each will test you in ways you cannot imagine. Each will shape you like a sword being forged. But you will face them one at a time. You will rise each morning to the drum sound. You will move through the forms with the others. You will strike with the bokken until your arms shake. You will sit in meditation until your mind quiets. You will eat simple meals with proper quiet gratitude. You will bathe in hot springs and feel muscles relax. You will listen to the Master's wisdom and teaching. And slowly, day by day, you will change completely. Your soft body will become hard and capable fully. Your scattered mind will become focused and very clear. Your weak spirit will become strong and unbreakable forever. This is the path of the warrior clearly shown. This is what you came here to find. This is what awaits you in the days ahead. And tonight, in the darkness of the sleeping room, you rest and gather strength for tomorrow's challenge ahead. Your breathing mingles with the breathing of 7 others. 8 students sleeping under one ancient roof together. 8 people walking the same difficult and demanding path. The mat beneath you holds your weight without complaint. The blanket keeps enough warmth around your tired body. The darkness protects you from the world outside completely. And in this darkness you find a strange peace. A peace that comes from complete exhaustion and surrender. A peace that comes from accepting what is. A peace that comes from knowing your purpose clearly. The night deepens and the cold grows more intense, but you sleep on, undisturbed by the changing temperature. Your body has learned to accept what it cannot change. Your mind has learned to release what it cannot control. This too is part of the warrior's training path. To accept discomfort without complaint or constant resistance anymore. To endure hardship without losing your inner spirit's calm. To suffer and yet maintain your dignity throughout it. These lessons are not taught with any spoken words. They are learned through experience and repeated daily practice only. They are absorbed through the body and the spirit. They become part of who you are over time, and so you sleep through your first night training. Deep and dreamless and absolutely necessary for tomorrow's work ahead. The monastery is silent around you in the darkness. The mountains stand guard over the valley below them. The stars shine down on this ancient sacred place. And 8 students sleep, each on their own difficult journey. Each carrying their own hopes and fears and dreams. Each seeking something they cannot name but deeply feel. Each walking the path that countless others walked before. The warrior's path, ancient and demanding and utterly transforming. The path that breaks you down completely and rebuilds anew. The path that strips away everything false and weak. The path that reveals who you truly are inside. And you have only just begun this long journey. The first day is behind you now and survived. Many more days lie ahead, each with its lessons. But tonight you rest in the darkness and cold. Tonight you sleep the sleep of the truly exhausted. Tonight you are simply here, breathing and existing quietly. And that is enough for this first night's ending. That is all that is required of you now. The drum sounds and you wake in darkness again. Your body refuses to move at first this morning. Every muscle is stiffened during the night's cold sleep. Your hands are swollen where the blisters formed yesterday, but the other students are already rising around you. They fold their mats with the same precise movements. You force yourself up despite the screaming protest inside. Your fingers struggle to grip the mat's rough edges. The folding takes longer than yesterday's clumsy attempt even, but eventually you manage to complete the task. You place the mat against the wall carefully, then you follow the others out into pre-dawn air. The courtyard is darker than yesterday, it seems somehow. Thick clouds hide the stars above the mountains. The air smells of rain that has not fallen. It is colder than yesterday, by several degrees noticeably. You take your place at the end of line. Your body shivers as you wait for the master. The other students stand perfectly still despite the cold. Their discipline seems even more impressive this second morning. The master appears like a shadow from the darkness. He takes his position at the front of formation. Then he begins the meditation form without any words. His body moves through the familiar pattern you remember. You follow as best your stiff body allows now. Each movement sends pain through your shoulders and back. Your thighs burn as you sink into the stances, but you push through the pain and continue moving. The form seems longer this morning than it was, or perhaps your body is simply more exhausted now. Either way, the movements feel endless and increasingly difficult. Sweat mixes with the cold morning air on skin. Your breath comes harder as the form progresses onward. But something is different from the yesterday's struggling attempt here. Your body remembers more of the pattern being taught. Your muscles know where to move without much thought. The transition from one position to the next flows. Not smoothly yet, but less awkwardly than before yesterday. This small improvement gives you strength to continue forward. You focus on matching the master's timing more carefully. Your strikes begin to align with the other students. Not perfectly, but closer than yesterday's failed attempts clearly. The sun does not break through the clouds today. Instead, the darkness simply fades to grey light slowly. The world remains colourless and cold and utterly unwelcoming. Rain begins to fall in small scattered drops. The drops are cold when they touch your skin. They run down your face and neck slowly. But the master does not stop or acknowledge the rain. He continues the form as if nothing has changed. The students follow him with the same perfect, unwavering focus. And so you continue as well, rain soaking through. Your training clothes become heavy with absorbed cold water. They cling to your skin and make movement harder, but you ignore the discomfort and maintain your focus. This is another test, though nobody says the words. The rain increases gradually from drops to steady fall. It drums on the packed earth with a rhythm. It runs in small streams across the courtyard surface. Your hair is plastered to your head and dripping. Water runs into your eyes and blurs your vision. But still you move through the ancient practiced form. Still you follow the master's patient lead before you. Still you refuse to show weakness or to quit. By the time the form ends, you are soaked. Your clothes hold what feels like their weight in water. Your body shivers uncontrollably from the sustained cold exposure. But you bow with the others when appropriate. Then you follow them toward the dining hall building. Inside, the air is warm from cooking fire heat. Steam rises from your wet clothes in visible clouds. You leave wet footprints on the wooden floor behind. The elderly woman looks at the wet students kindly. She brings towels of rough cotton for everyone present. You dry your face and hair with grateful hands. The towel absorbs some of the water, but not all. You will eat breakfast in damp clothes this morning. The meal's the same as yesterday's simple fare. Rice and miso soup and pickled vegetables once more. But after the cold rain, it tastes even better. The warmth of the soup spreads through your body. The rice provides energy you desperately need right now. You eat slowly and mindfully as you were taught, grateful for every bite and every moment of warmth. After breakfast, the master leads you outside again once. The rain has lessened to a light misty drizzle. The practice ground is slick with mud and water. The wooden posts glisten with moisture and grey light. The master walks to the weapon rack without hesitation. He selects his bokken with practiced familiar movements. The students follow and select their own weapons too. You take the same bokken you used yesterday morning. The wood is damp from the rain and cold. Your swollen, blistered hands scream when you grip it, but you hold on and take your position. The master begins the striking practice without any preamble. His bokken cuts through the misty air with precision. The students strike together in perfect synchronized unison as always. You join them, your timing better than yesterday was. Your body remembers more of the rhythm and pattern. Strike after strike through the cold grey morning air. The rain continues to fall in light persistent drops. Your hand slips slightly on the damp wooden handle. You adjust your grip and continue without stopping, pause. The pain in your hands grows worse with repetition. The blisters from yesterday have not healed at all. New blisters form alongside the old ones painfully now. Blood mixes with rain on the bokken's smooth surface. But you do not stop or cry out. You do not let the weapon fall again. You've learned this lesson from yesterday's shame and failure. You will endure until the master says to stop. The practice continues for what feels like forever passing. Your arms shake with fatigue and growing strain constantly. Your shoulders burn like fire despite the cold rain. Your legs threaten to buckle with each repeated strike. But you lock your knees and force stability somehow. You breathe through the pain with steady, measured breaths. You find a place inside yourself that is quiet. A place that exists beyond the body's suffering here. This is what the master's eyes showed yesterday morning. This is the space between earth and sky above. This is where the warrior learns to truly live. The rain continues and the practice continues with it. Strike after endless strike falling downward repeatedly. The world disappears except for the movement and weapon. Time loses all meaning in the grey light. There is only this moment, repeated infinitely in succession. Finally, the master lowers his weapon and bows deeply. The students mirror him with their own bows too. You bow as well, grateful beyond words for rest. Your hands are bloody and your body is trembling. But you completed the practice without failure this time. You did not drop your weapon or show weakness. This small victory gives you strength to continue forward. The master walks toward a different building than before. This one is smaller and set apart from others. The students follow him across the muddy, slick ground. You walk carefully to avoid slipping and falling down. Inside the building, the air is warm and dry. Paper lanterns hang from the ceiling beams above you. They cast soft golden light throughout the quiet space. The floor is covered with thick woven mats carefully. Along one wall there are shelves of scrolls and books. This is a study room, a place for learning. The master gestures for everyone to sit on mats. The students kneel in a semicircle facing the master. You take your place at the edge once more. Your wet clothes begin to steam in the warmth. Water drips from your hair onto the mat below. But the warmth feels wonderful after the cold rain. Your body begins to relax despite the soreness everywhere. The master retrieves a scroll from the shelf carefully. He unrolls it on a low table before him. The paper is old and yellowed with great age. Black ink characters cover the surface in careful columns. He begins to speak in the formal language again. His words are slow and clear and deliberately chosen. He speaks of the warrior's code and ancient values. He speaks of loyalty and courage and honest integrity. He speaks of self-discipline and constant improvement and growth. You listen carefully and try to understand every word. Some characters you recognize from your previous limited studies. Others are unfamiliar and their meaning escapes you now. But the master is patient in his teaching method. He explains each concept with care and attention fully. He uses examples from history and from nature. He speaks of warriors who lived centuries ago long, men who faced impossible choices with dignity and grace, men who sacrificed everything for their sworn duty, men who embodied the ideals being taught to you. The rain drums softly on the roof overhead above. The sound is soothing in the warm study room. Your eyelids grow heavy as you listen to him, but you force yourself to remain alert and focused. You will not fall asleep again like last night. The master's teaching continues through the morning hours slowly. He moves from one scroll to another ancient one. Each contains wisdom accumulated over many long centuries. Each offers lessons for the warrior's path you walk. You absorb what you can with your tired mind. Some teachings resonate deeply within your core and spirit. Others remain mysterious and beyond your current understanding level. But all of it matters. All holds some value. This is not just physical training for the body. It is training for the mind and spirit too. It is learning to think and act with proper wisdom. It is becoming more than just strong or skilled. By midday, the rain has stopped falling completely outside. The clouds begin to break apart into fragments. Pale sunlight filters through the gaps between them now. The master closes the last scroll and stands carefully. The students rise and bow to him respectfully together. Then they file out of the study room quietly. Outside, the air smells fresh and clean after rain. Everything glistens with water droplets in the new light. The master leads you to the bathing house again. Inside, the hot spring water steams invitingly warm still. The students remove their wet training clothes with relief. They step into the water with quiet, grateful sighs. You join them, lowering your aching body in slowly. The heat stings your raw, bleeding hands at first, but then the warmth begins to soothe the pain. Your muscles relax and release their constant tension held. You float in the water, eyes closed in peace. The warmth penetrates deep into your cold bones finally. This is becoming your favourite part of each day. This moment of rest and comfort and gentle healing. After the bath, you dress in dry, clean clothes. The fabric feels wonderful against your clean, warm skin. Your body feels human again instead of just suffering. The master leads you back to the dining hall. The midday meal is waiting on the long tables. Rice and vegetables and miso soup once more again. A small piece of grilled fish accompanies each simple bowl. The fish is salty and perfectly cooked through completely. You eat with the same mindful attention as always, savouring each bite and feeling gratitude for the nourishment. The fish provides protein your body desperately needs right now. The rice gives energy for the afternoon's work ahead. After the meal, there is a brief rest period. The students return to the sleeping room and lie down. You collapse onto your mat with exhausted relief completely. Your body sinks into the thin padding with gratitude. You close your eyes and breathe deeply and evenly. Sleep comes almost instantly this time, without struggle or resistance. But it feels like only moments pass before waking. The master's footsteps in the hall signal the end. You rise and fold your mat once again more. Your body protests but obeys your will's command nonetheless. Outside, the sun has fully broken through the clouds. The courtyard is drying in the warm afternoon light. The master leads you to yet another new area. Behind the practice ground there is a garden space. It is carefully maintained with rocks and small plants. A stone path winds through the arranged, careful elements. This is a meditation garden for quiet contemplation here. The master gestures for you to sit on stones. You lower yourself onto the hard, cold stone surface. The other students sit in perfect stillness around you. The master sits facing the garden with eyes half closed. He breathes slowly and deeply from his center low. The students mirror his breathing pattern exactly and perfectly. You try to match the rhythm they establish together. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold the breath for 4 counts in your lungs. Breathe out slowly through your mouth for 4 counts. Hold empty for 4 counts before the next breath. The pattern repeats over and over without variation or change. At first your mind races with scattered random thoughts. You think of home and family far away below. You think of the pain in your hands. You think of tomorrow and the training that awaits. But gradually the breathing becomes your entire focus point. The thoughts begin to slow and quiet down gradually. The constant chatter in your mind starts fading away. There is only the breath moving in and out, only the sensation of air filling your chest, only the gentle rhythm that connects you to now. Your body becomes still as the stone beneath you. Your mind becomes clear like water in deep mountain spring. You exist in this moment completely and totally only. Past and future fade into distant, irrelevant nothing now. There is only this breath, this moment, this existence. Time passes, but you do not notice its passage. The sun moves across the afternoon sky above slowly. Shadows shift and lengthen across the meditation garden space. But you remain perfectly still in your deep practice. When the master finally rises, you feel surprised completely. It seems like only minutes have passed by quickly. But the sun is now low on the horizon. The afternoon has disappeared into your meditation completely and fully. The students rise and bow to the master respectfully. You stand on stiff legs that have fallen asleep. Pins and needles shoot through your feet painfully sharp, but you bow with the others despite the discomfort. The master leads you back to the practice ground. The evening training session is about to begin clearly now. You retrieve your bokken from the rack with aching hands. The weapon feels heavier than it did this morning. Your arms are exhausted from the morning's repeated striking practice, but you take your position with the other students. The master begins the evening practice without words or warning. His bokken cuts through the air with deadly precision still. You follow with the others, striking in coordinated unison together. Your timing has improved throughout this long second day. Your body remembers more of the proper form now. Your strikes land closer to the invisible target point, but the exhaustion makes every movement harder than before. Your arms shake with each repeated overhead strike downward. Your hands scream with pain from the damaged skin. Sweat runs into your eyes despite the cooling air. The practice continues as the sun sets behind mountains. The sky turns orange, then pink, then deep purple. Stars begin to appear in the darkening eastern sky. Still you strike with the bokken over and over. Still you maintain your focus and your disciplined control. Still you refuse to let the weapon fall again. The master finally calls an end with his deep bow. You lower your bokken with tremendous grateful relief washing over. Your whole body trembles from the sustained long effort, but you completed another full day of hard training. You survived the cold rain and the pain. You learned new lessons and grew slightly stronger inside. The evening meal is quiet and deeply appreciated tonight. The food tastes even better after the day's work. Your body absorbs the nourishment like dry earth drinks rain. After the meal comes the evening teaching session again. The master speaks of discipline and its critical importance. He speaks of training the body and the mind. He speaks of the warrior's constant never-ending journey inward. You listen carefully despite your growing exhaustion and fatigue. His words sink into your tired mind like seeds. They will grow and develop with time and practice. They will shape how you think and how you act. This is part of the transformation happening within you. When the teaching ends, you return to the room. You arrange your mat and lie down with relief. Your body aches worse than yesterday did even still. But there is also something new inside you now. A small spark of pride at what you achieved. A tiny flame of growing confidence and strength building. You survived another day of brutal, demanding training. You proved something to yourself once more again today. Tomorrow will bring new challenges and new pain, surely. But tonight you rest knowing you are changing. Knowing you are becoming something more than before yesterday. Knowing the warrior inside is slowly awakening and emerging. The darkness fills the room as you close eyes. The other students breathe in their perfect sleeping rhythm. The night settles over the mountain monastery compound once more, and you sleep deep and dreamless and absolutely needed. Your second day of training is complete and finished. Many more days stretch ahead into the future still. Each will test you in different, unexpected ways always. Each will teach you lessons you cannot anticipate now. But you'll face them one day at a time. You will rise each morning to the drum's sound. You will move through the forms in rain or sun. You will strike with the bokken until arms shake. You will sit in meditation until mind clears completely. You will study the scrolls and learn the warrior's wisdom. You will eat simple meals and bathe in springs. You will sleep and wake and begin again tomorrow. This is the rhythm of your life now here. This is the path you have chosen to walk. This is the way of the warrior's training clearly. And though it is hard beyond what you imagined, though it breaks you down and tests your limits, though it demands everything you have to give fully, you find that you do not want to leave. You find that something in you needs this challenge. You find that the difficulty is where growth happens. So you sleep through your second night of training. Your body repairs itself as best it can manage. Your mind processes the lessons learned throughout the long day. Your spirit grows stronger in ways you cannot see. And tomorrow you will wake and do it again. Tomorrow you will face the cold morning air anew. Tomorrow you will continue on the warrior's ancient, demanding path. The monastery sleeps around you in the mountain darkness. The stars wheel overhead in their eternal slow dance. The wind moves through the valley carrying pine scent. And 8 students rest, each growing in their own way, each taking steps along the same difficult warrior's journey, each discovering strength they did not know they possessed, each becoming more than what they were when arriving. This is the third day approaching now in darkness. Your body knows it even in deepest sleep somehow. Your muscles brace for what is coming at dawn. Your mind prepares for the challenges ahead still unknown. But for now there is only rest and peace. Only the darkness and the quiet breathing sounds around. Only the present moment of complete stillness and calm. And in this stillness, you're exactly enough. In this, you're exactly where you belong. The warrior's path has accepted you as its student. The training has begun to shape your entire being. The transformation is underway, slow but certain and real. And though the journey is long and demanding ahead, though many trials await in the coming days and weeks, though you will face moments of doubt and pain, you will continue forward, One step at each time, you will become what you came here to be, a warrior, forged in discipline and hardship and practice, shaped by repetition and suffering and patient teaching wisdom, transformed from soft, uncertain person into something tempered and strong. This is your path now, chosen freely and walked. This is your life, simple and hard and meaningful. This is your purpose, clear and demanding and true. And as you sleep through this second cold night, the journey continues within you even in dreams deep. The third morning begins like the others before it. The drum sounds and you wake in the darkness. But something feels different in your body this time. The stiffness is still there, the pain remains constant. But underneath there is something new and unfamiliar growing. A quality of resilience that was not present before. Your hands are still damaged and swollen from training, but they grip the mat more firmly today somehow. You fold it with movements that are becoming automatic. Your body knows the routine now without conscious thought. You place the mat against the wall precisely right, then follow the others into the cold pre-dawn courtyard. The sky is clear tonight and filled with stars. The air is colder than the previous mornings were. Your breath creates thick clouds in the still air, but you take your position without hesitation or complaint. The master appears and begins the meditation form immediately. You follow with the others in synchronized, careful movement. Your body flows through the positions with less resistance. The pattern has begun to settle into your muscles. You're no longer thinking about each separate movement. Your body simply moves, following the rhythm it knows. This allows your mind to quiet more deeply now. You begin to feel what the form teaches. The connection between breath and movement becomes clearer now. The way each position flows into the next one. The circle of energy that moves through the body. These are things words cannot fully explain or capture. They must be experienced through patient, repeated practice only. Strike after strike, day after day, slowly learned. The meditation form ends as the first light appears. The sky lightens from black to deep blue gradually. You bow with the others and proceed to breakfast. The routine is familiar now, almost comforting in its way. The same simple meal eaten in the same silence. But today you notice new details you missed before. The way the master closes his eyes before eating. The way one student's jaw moves with each bite. The way steam rises from the soup bowl's surface. These small observations deepen your presence in the moment. After breakfast comes the striking practice on the ground. You retrieve your bokken with hands that know it. The weapon has become familiar despite the pain it causes. You take your position and wait for the master. The morning practice begins with the basic downward strike. But today the master adds something new to learn. After 20 strikes he shifts to a different angle. His bokken cuts diagonally from right to left smoothly. The students follow immediately with perfect synchronized timing as always. You watch carefully and try to copy the movement. Your angle is wrong on the first several attempts. The bokken wobbles as it cuts through the air, but you adjust and try again with focused concentration. Your body learns the new angle through patient repetition. By the 10th strike you have found the path. By the 20th it begins to feel more natural. The master introduces another angle after 50 repetition strikes. This one cuts from left to right across body, then another that strikes horizontally at shoulder level height. Each new angle requires complete attention and adjustment time. Your arms burn from the constantly changing positions required here. Your shoulders scream as muscles work in unfamiliar new ways. Sweat runs down your back despite the morning cold, but you continue without pause or hesitation shown to anyone. The other students adapt to each change instantly, it seems. Their bodies respond without the struggle you experience daily. But you notice something important happening within yourself, slowly. You are adapting faster than yesterday or the day before. Your body learns more quickly with each passing session. The movements sink deeper into your muscle memory now. This small progress gives you strength to push harder. The sun climbs higher and the practice continues steadily, strike after strike from every angle being taught carefully. Your hands bleed through the wrappings you applied this morning. The bokken becomes slippery with sweat and blood mixing, but your grip remains firm despite the pain involved. You've learned to accept the pain as constant companion. It no longer frightens or overwhelms your determined spirit. It is simply there, like the cold or hunger, something to acknowledge and then set aside mentally. Finally, the master lowers his weapon and bows deeply. You bow with the others, arms trembling with exhaustion. Your whole body shakes from the sustained long effort, but you completed the practice without failing once today. The master leads you to the study room again. Inside, the air is warm and smells of incense. The paper lanterns cast their soft, golden, gentle light. You kneel on the mat and try to steady yourself. The master retrieves several scrolls from the shelf carefully. Today he speaks of strategy and tactical thinking clearly, how the warrior must train the mind as well, how intelligence is as important as physical strength alone. He describes famous battles from centuries long past and gone, how terrain and timing determine the final bloody outcome, how patience often defeats raw aggression and force displayed, how the wise warrior thinks 10 steps ahead, always. You listen carefully and try to absorb the lessons. Your tired mind struggles to follow the complex ideas, but something in the teaching resonates deeply within you. The idea that strength alone is not sufficient here, that wisdom and patience are equally vital warrior qualities needed, that the true warrior's voice is complete in all ways. Body and mind and spirit working as one, this vision of completeness draws you forward on path. The morning teaching session lasts until the sun reaches. The master speaks without rushing, allowing time for understanding. When he finishes, he closes the scrolls with care. Then he leads you outside into the bright sunlight. The midday meal is waiting in the dining hall. Today there is a small piece of dried fruit. Sweet and chewy, it tastes like pure concentrated joy. You savor it slowly, making it last as long. After the meal comes the rest period you need. You lie on your mat and close your eyes. Sleep comes quickly despite the discomfort everywhere inside. But again it feels like only moments pass by. The master's footsteps wake you from the brief deep rest. You rise and follow him out to a place, not the practice ground but a narrow forest path. It winds up the mountain slope through dense trees. The students walk in single file along the path. You follow at the end, watching your careful footing. The path is steep and covered with loose stones. Tree roots cross it like ancient gnarled fingers reaching. You climb higher and higher up the mountain slope. Your legs burn with the effort of the climb. Your breath comes hard in the thin mountain air. But the master maintains a steady, relentless climbing pace. The other students follow without any visible strain shown. Their breathing remains even and controlled throughout the ascent. You struggle to keep up with their determined steady pace. But you refuse to fall behind or ask for. The path climbs through a grove of tall cedar trees. Their trunks are massive and covered with thick moss. The air smells of earth and wood and green. Sunlight filters through the branches in golden shifting shafts. Birds call from hidden perches high above your laboured path. The sound echoes through the forest in layered harmony notes. You focus on the sound to distract from burning, one foot in front of the other, repeating steadily, after what feels like an hour of climbing upward. The path opens onto a small clearing on mountainside. A shrine stands in the centre of the space. It is simple wood, weathered grey by passing time. The master approaches the shrine and bows deeply respectfully. The students mirror him with their own reverent bows. You follow their example, bowing to the ancient shrine. The master kneels before the shrine in silent prayer. The students kneel in a row behind him quietly. You take your place at the end as always. The clearing is silent except for wind in trees. The air feels different here, charged with something sacred unseen. You close your eyes and try to feel it, a presence that exists beyond normal human understanding here, something ancient and powerful watching over this mountain place. You breathe slowly and open yourself to the feeling. Time passes in the clearing unmarked by anything physical. You kneel in scenes with the others beside you. Your knees ache against the hard ground beneath them, but you remain still and focused on the presence. Finally, the master rises and turns from the shrine. He leads you back down the mountain path carefully. The descent is harder than the climb was somehow. Your legs shake with each downward step taken awkwardly. Loose stones slip beneath your feet repeatedly and dangerously. You have to concentrate fully to avoid falling badly. The master moves down the path with perfect balanced grace. The students follow him with the same sure-footedness. You go slowly, accepting that you are not ready for the speed they demonstrate so easily. But someday you will move as they move now. Someday your body will know the mountain's path intimately. Back at the monastery, the evening practice session awaits. You retrieve your bokken with hands that barely work. The weapon feels impossibly heavy after the mountain's long climb, but you take your position with the other students. The master begins with the basic downward strike again, then moves through all the angles learned this morning. Your body responds despite the exhaustion weighing it completely down. The pattern has begun to live inside your muscles. You strike with the others in coordinated flowing unison. Not perfectly, but closer than you have ever been. Your timing aligns with theirs for long stretches of time. This small achievement fills you with quiet, unexpected pride. The practice continues as the sun sets behind mountains. The sky turns colours you have no names for, orange and pink and purple blending together seamlessly and beautifully. Stars appear one by one in the deepening sky. The master finally calls an end to the practice. You lower your bokken with arms that barely respond. Your whole body is one continuous wave of pain, but you completed another full demanding day of training. The evening meal tastes better than anything you remember. The simple food becomes a feast in your mouth. Your body absorbs every bit of offered valuable nourishment. After the meal comes the evening teaching session always. Tonight the master speaks of perseverance and enduring spirit. How the warrior must continue when strength is gone. How the body can be pushed beyond perceived limits. How the mind creates boundaries that do not exist. You listen and recognize the truth in his words. Today you pushed beyond what you thought was possible. You climbed the mountain when your legs were exhausted. You practiced when your arms could barely lift weapon. And you survived and even grew slightly stronger somehow. This is the lesson being taught through direct experience. Not with words, but with the doing itself. The warrior is forged through continuous small impossible victories. When the teaching ends, you return to sleeping room. You arrange your mat and lie down with relief. Your body sinks into the thin padding with gratitude. Sleep comes before you even close your eyes fully. Your third day of training is complete and finished. You've survived another impossible demanding day here. You've learned new strikes and climbed the mountain. You've pushed your limits and found new strength. Tomorrow will bring more of the same harsh challenges, more pain and exhaustion and difficult moments of doubt. But tonight you rest knowing you are changing. The warrior inside is waking slowly but surely now. The darkness fills the room as you drift away. The other students breathe in their sleeping rhythm peaceful. The night settles over the mountain monastery compound again, and you sleep deeper than you have in years. Your body repairs itself as best it possibly can. Your muscles rebuild stronger than they were this morning. Your mind integrates all the lessons learned throughout today. Your spirit grows in ways you cannot measure yet. The fourth day is approaching now in the darkness. Your body knows it even in deepest sleep state. Your muscles prepare for what is coming at dawn. But for now there is only rest and peace. The monastery sleeps around you in mountain darkness still. The stars wheel overhead in their eternal slow ancient dance. The wind moves through the valley carrying the scent, and 8 students rest, each growing in their way, each walking the same difficult, demanding warrior's journey forward, each discovering strength they never knew they possessed before, each becoming more than what they were when arriving. This is the way of the warrior's patient training. This is the path you have chosen to walk. This is your life now, simple and hard and real. And though the journey is long and demanding still, though many trials await in the coming days ahead, you find that you do not want anything different. You find that this hardship gives your life true meaning. You find that the difficulty is where you discover who you really are beneath the soft exterior life. The morning will come and you will rise again. You will face the cold air and the practice. You will strike with the bokken and study the scrolls. You will climb mountains and sit in meditation deep. You will eat simple meals and bathe in springs. You will learn and grow and change each passing day. This is your path now, chosen freely and walked. This is your purpose, clear and demanding and completely true. And as you sleep through this third cold night, the transformation continues within you, even in dreams now. The warrior emerges slowly from the person you were, shaped by discipline and hardship and patient, endless teaching, forged by repetition and suffering and small daily victories, tempered by cold and heat and rain and sun. This is the ancient way that has shaped warriors, for countless generations stretching back through time and history, and now you are part of that timeless tradition. One more student walking the demanding, difficult path forward. One more person seeking to become something far greater. One more warrior being born through fire and discipline. The night deepens and your sleep deepens with it. Your breathing slows to match the rhythm around you. 8 students sleeping under one ancient roof together safely. 8 people on the same journey of complete transformation. The monastery holds you all in its protective embrace. The mountains stand guard over the valley below them. The stars shine down on this ancient sacred training place. And the night passes slowly toward the coming inevitable dawn. Tomorrow you will wake to the drum's steady sound. Tomorrow you will begin again the cycle of practice. Tomorrow you will take another step on the path. But tonight you rest in the darkness and stillness. Tonight you are held by the peace of sleep. Tonight your body and mind and spirit are restored. And when the morning comes, you will be ready. Ready to face whatever challenges the day may bring. Ready to learn whatever lessons await your open mind. Ready to become more of what you are meant. This is the warrior's way. one day at a time. This is how transformation happens, slowly and steadily forward. Through repetition and patience and unwavering dedication to path. Through accepting pain and pushing beyond perceived impossible limits. Through trusting the process even when understanding is lacking. Through surrendering to the wisdom of the ancient way. And so you sleep through your third night here, growing stronger even in the stillness of rest tonight, becoming more even as you lie completely still here. The warrior within continues to awaken and emerge slowly forward, day by day, hour by hour, breath by breath. The transformation unfolds in its own perfect natural timing. You cannot force it or rush the necessary process. You can only show up each day and do. Show up and practice and learn and grow steadily. Show up and endure and persevere and continue always. Show up and trust that the path knows where. It is leading you even when you cannot see. This is the faith of the warrior's journey clearly. This is the trust that sustains you through hardship. This is the knowing that lives deeper than thought. And as you sleep, this knowing grows within you. It becomes part of your bones and your breath. It becomes woven into the fabric of your being. It becomes who you are at the deepest level. And tomorrow when you wake, it will be there, guiding you forward through another day of training and practice, giving you strength when your body wants to quit, reminding you why you came to this mountain place, why you chose this path of transformation and discipline. The night holds all of this in its silence. The darkness protects and nurtures your sleeping form gently. The monastery breathes around you like a living thing, and you rest within it, safe and held completely. The fourth morning arrives with the drum's familiar sound. You open your eyes to the darkness once more. But this morning your body responds differently to waking. The pain is still present throughout your aching form, but it has become background noise instead of screaming. Your hands are healing slowly beneath the careful wrappings. The blisters have begun to form protective calluses now. You rise from your mat with movements that flow. The stiffness loosens more quickly than previous mornings did. You fold your mat with hands that know exactly. Every motion is becoming automatic and practiced and sure. You place it against the wall without conscious thought. Now. Outside the courtyard is covered with thin morning frost. It sparkles in the starlight like scattered tiny diamonds. The air is sharp and cold against your face, but you take your position without hesitation or complaint. The master appears like a shadow from the darkness. He begins the meditation form with flowing, graceful movements. You follow with the others in perfect synchronized harmony. Your body knows the pattern completely now at last. Each position flows into the next one without effort. Your breathing guides the movement as it should do. Your mind is quiet and focused on the present. This is what the form has been teaching all along, to be completely present in each passing moment fully here, to move without thinking, to breathe without forcing anything ever, to exist in the space between effort and surrender. The form ends as the sun touches the mountains. Golden light spills across the frost-covered courtyard surface beautifully. The ice crystals catch the light and shimmer brightly. You bow with the others as steam rises. Your breath mingles with theirs in the cold air. Breakfast is the same simple meal as always before, but today you taste each grain of rice completely. You feel the warmth of soup spreading through you. You notice the texture of pickled vegetables on tongue. This is mindfulness the master has been teaching it. Not through words, but through the practice of eating, of doing each thing with complete attention and care, of being fully present in every small moment here. After breakfast comes the striking practice on the ground. Today the master introduces something entirely new to learn. He demonstrates a stepping pattern with the basic strike. His feet move forward as the bokken descends down. The coordination required is challenging and difficult to master initially. You must move feet and arms together in time. Your first attempts are clumsy and completely uncoordinated badly. Your bokken strikes while your feet are still planted, or your feet move while your arms lag behind. But you continue trying with patient, focused determination showing through. The other students have already mastered the coordination needed. Their bodies move as single unified flowing wholes completely. You watch them carefully and try to understand the secret. How do they make it look so effortless and easy? Then you realize there is no secret to discover, only practice and repetition and time invested in learning fully. So you continue stepping and striking and adjusting your timing. Slowly the coordination begins to emerge from the chaos. Your feet begin to move with your arms naturally. The strike lands as your front foot plants down. By the 100th repetition it starts to feel right. By the 200th it becomes almost natural flowing. Your body is learning the pattern through persistent patient doing. This is how all skills are acquired over time. Not through understanding, but through repetition and patient practice. Not through thinking, but through doing again and again. Not through watching, but through experiencing directly in your body. The practice continues through the long morning hours passing. The master adds complexity to the stepping pattern gradually now. Side steps and back steps and diagonal movements too. Each variation requires new coordination and complete careful attention. Your mind stays focused on the task before you. There is no room for doubt or fear here. No space for wondering if you can succeed eventually. Only the immediate present moment of doing this strike. Only this step, this breath, this movement happening right now. The sun climbs to its highest point overhead above. Sweat soaks through your training clothes despite the cold. Your legs burn from the constant stepping and lunging forward. Your arms shake with fatigue from endless striking repetitions. But something has shifted inside you during this practice. You are no longer fighting against the difficulty involved. You're no longer resisting the pain or exhaustion. You've accepted them as part of the process, and in accepting them they lose their power over. They become simply sensations to be noticed and released. Your body continues moving despite them being there always. This is another lesson the training teaches without words. Finally, the master lowers his weapon and bows deeply. You bow with the others, legs trembling beneath you. But you feel stronger than you did yesterday morning. Not physically, but in some deeper inner way. The master leads you to the study room again. Today he speaks of presence and awareness being cultivated. How the warrior must be completely present, always here. Not lost in thoughts of past or future times. Not distracted by fear or desire or any emotion, but fully aware of each moment as it unfolds. This awareness is what makes the warrior effective always. It allows perfect response to any situation that arises. You listen and understand that this is what you have been practicing all along through every single activity. The meditation form teaches presence through repeated careful movement. The striking practice teaches presence through focused, sustained attention. Even eating meals teaches presence through mindful, careful tasting. Every aspect of training points toward the same lesson. Be here now, completely and totally and fully present. This is the foundation of the warrior's true power. The teaching continues through the midday hours, passing slowly onward. The master's voice is calm and steady like water. His words sink into your mind like rain into dry earth. nourishing something that was parched and empty. After the teaching comes the midday meal and rest. You eat with even deeper appreciation than before today. Each bite is a gift to be fully savoured. After the meal, you lie on your mat briefly. Sleep comes, but this time it is different somehow, not the heavy, exhausted collapse of previous days here, but a lighter rest that remains aware and present. You are asleep, but also somehow still awake within. When the master's footsteps wake you, you rise easily. Your body feels rested despite the brief short time. Today the master leads you to a different place. A small building you have not entered yet before. Inside the walls are lined with polished wooden racks. Real swords rest in these racks. Not training Bokken. They are sheathed in simple lacquered wooden cases carefully. The master gestures for you to observe them closely here. You approach the nearest rack with cautious, reverent steps forward. The swords rest in perfect stillness and complete silence. Even sheathed, they emanate a quality of focused, dangerous power. You can feel it in the air around them. The master selects one sword from the rack with care. He draws it slowly from its protective wooden sheath. The blade catches the light and seems to glow. It is perfectly smooth and polished to mirror brightness. The edge is so sharp it seems to cut the very air itself as it moves through. The master holds the sword before him with both hands. His stance shifts into something ancient and completely deadly now. He moves through a kata with the real blade. His movements are the same as with the Bokken, but there is a different quality to them now, a sharpness and precision that was not visible before today. Every movement is executed with perfect, exact control and care. There is no room for error with real steel. One mistake could mean serious injury or even death. The kata demonstrates what you are working toward ultimately. The master sheathes the sword with a smooth, practiced motion. Then he returns it to the rack with care. He turns to face the students with serious expression. His eyes pass over each one in careful turn. When his gaze meets yours, you understand the message. The Bokken is preparation for this real responsibility here. Every strike you practice is practice for holding steel. Every movement you learn has life and death implications. This is not a game or simple physical exercise. This is training to become a warrior who carries responsibility for life and death in their skilled hands. The weight of this understanding settles on your shoulders. The master leads you back outside to the ground. The afternoon practice session begins with renewed intensity and focus. You strike with your Bokken knowing what it represents. Not just wood, but the real blade you saw. Your movements become more precise and careful and controlled throughout. Your focus deepens to a razor's sharp edge of attention. You are no longer just going through the motions. You're practicing something that truly matters deeply and completely. The practice continues as the sun descends toward horizon. Your body moves with increasing coordination and developing grace now. The stepping pattern has become natural and flowing and easy. Your strikes land precisely where you intend them to. This is progress, visible and measurable and deeply real today. You can feel yourself improving with each passing moment. Not dramatically, but steadily and surely moving forward always. This is how mastery is built over long time. Small improvements accumulating day after day into months and years. No single day transforms you into a master warrior, but each day adds another layer to the foundation. Each practice session deepens the pathways in your muscles. The master calls an end to the practice session. You bow deeply, feeling gratitude for the teaching received. Your body is exhausted, but your spirit feels strangely alive. Something has awakened inside you during today's long training. a sense of purpose that was not there before, a connection to something larger than just yourself alone. You are part of a tradition that spans centuries, part of a lineage of warriors who walked before. The evening meal is eaten in the usual silence, but tonight the silence feels different to your awareness. Not empty, but full of unspoken shared understanding between. 8 students walking the same path together in unity. After the meal comes the evening teaching as always. Tonight the master speaks of commitment and unwavering dedication. How the warrior's path requires complete total surrender to. Not giving up, but giving yourself fully to process. Holding nothing back from the training and the practice. Bringing your whole self to each moment's demands and requirements. This is what separates those who succeed from those who eventually leave and return to their easier former lives. You listen and know that you have made this. Commitment fully even if you did not realize it. You've given yourself to this path without reservation. You've opened yourself to the transformation being offered here. When the teaching ends, you return to the room. But tonight you do not immediately lie down to. Instead, you sit on your mat in meditation posture, your back straight, your hands resting on your thighs. You close your eyes and focus on your breath. In and out, slow and steady and rhythmic always. Your mind is quieter than it has ever been. The constant chatter has faded to a gentle whisper. You sit in the darkness with the others sleeping, breathing and being, and simply existing in this moment. Time passes, but you do not track its passage. You are simply here, present and aware and awake. Finally you lie down and close your eyes fully. Sleep comes gently like a soft blanket of comfort. Your 4th day of training is complete and finished. You have learned and grown and changed in ways that you could not have imagined before arriving here. Tomorrow will bring new challenges and new lessons surely, but tonight you rest in peace and quiet contentment. The warrior inside is no longer just awakening slowly. The warrior is present now, growing stronger each day, emerging from the person you were like butterfly from, a cocoon that was necessary but is no longer. You're becoming what you came here to be. The night passes over the mountain monastery peacefully and calmly. The stars wheel overhead in their ancient eternal dance. The wind moves through the valley carrying the mountain scent. And 8 students rest, each on their warrior's journey. Each day brings them closer to their true nature. Each practice session reveals more of their hidden potential. Each lesson learned transforms them in fundamental deep ways. This is the magic of the warrior's training path. Not magic in the supernatural sense at all clearly, but magic in the sense of profound real transformation. The impossible becoming possible through dedication and patient practice. The weak becoming strong through repetition and time invested. The scattered becoming focused through discipline, sustained attention and effort. The soft becoming hard through exposure to difficulty. The person becoming warrior through complete surrender to the process. This is what happens on the mountain over time. This is why students come from distant villages below, seeking something they cannot find in ordinary comfortable life. Seeking the challenge that will reveal their true self, seeking the forge that will shape them into steel. And the monastery provides this forge without mercy shown. It breaks down everything that is false within. It strips away the comfortable lies people tell themselves. It reveals the truth of who they really are. And then it builds something new from that foundation. Something stronger and clearer and more complete than before arriving. Something that can face life's challenges with courage and grace. Something that can serve others with wisdom and true strength. This is the gift the warrior's training truly offers. Not just skill with weapons or physical prowess displayed, but transformation into a more complete human being entirely, into someone who knows themselves deeply and completely honestly. Someone who can act with integrity in all circumstances, someone who can face difficulty without losing their centered, someone who can serve something larger than just themselves. This is what you are becoming day by day. The morning will come and you will rise again. You will face another day of demanding, difficult practice. You will learn new lessons and discover new strength within. You will take another step on the warrior's path. But tonight you rest in the darkness and peace. Tonight you integrate all that you have learned today. Tonight your body and mind and spirit continue growing. And when dawn comes, you will be ready again. Ready to begin again the cycle of daily practice. Ready to face whatever challenges may come your way. Ready to continue the journey of complete transformation unfolding. This is your life now, chosen freely and walked. This is your path, clear and demanding and true. This is who you are becoming through fire and discipline. A warrior shaped by ancient wisdom and patient teaching, forged through repetition and suffering and small daily victories, tempered by cold and heat and rain and sun, sharpened by constant practice and sustained focused attention always, polished by meditation and study and deep inner work. This is the way it has always been done, for countless generations stretching back through time and history, and now you are part of that timeless tradition, walking the same path as countless warriors walked before, learning the same lessons they learned through doing and being, discovering the same truths they discovered within themselves deeply, becoming part of something far greater than just yourself. This is the true meaning of the warrior's path, not just individual strength, but connection to lineage honored. Not just personal achievement, but service to something sacred. Not just skill, but wisdom earned through patient practice. Not just power, but responsibility carried with humble grace. This is what you are learning here slowly, day by day, breath by breath, step by step. The journey continues forward into the unknown future ahead, but you walk it with increasing confidence and growing strength. You walk it knowing you're not alone here. 8 students walking together under one ancient roof together. 8 people supporting each other through unspoken shared commitment. 8 warriors being forged in the same sacred fire. This is the power of training together in community. Not competing, but supporting through example and shared presence. Not judging, but accepting each person's unique pace and journey. Not comparing, but celebrating each small victory achieved by anyone. This is the culture the Master has created. Through his patient teaching and his compassionate, firm guidance. Through his example of complete dedication to the path. Through his wisdom accumulated over decades of devoted practice. He shapes not just individuals, but a community united. And you are part of this community now fully, no longer an outsider struggling to keep pace alone, but a member accepted and valued for who you are and who you are becoming each passing day. This belonging is a gift you did not expect, but it sustains you through the difficult, challenging moments. It reminds you that transformation is not a journey. You must walk completely alone without any support ever. The night deepens and your sleep deepens with it. Your breathing matches the rhythm of 7 others sleeping. 8 students breathing together in the darkness and stillness. 8 hearts beating together on the warrior's ancient path. And in this unity there is strength and peace. In this shared journey, there is meaning and deep purpose. In this community, there is belonging and true acceptance. This is what makes the hardship bearable and even beautiful. This is what transforms suffering into growth and wisdom. This is what makes the impossible become possible somehow. And so you sleep through your fourth night here, growing and changing and becoming more each passing moment. The warrior within continues to emerge and strengthen daily. The person you were fades into distant past behind. The person you are becoming steps forward into light, and the journey continues forward into the tomorrow approaching. Good night.